So, every now and again you come across a video that is so screen-punchingly bad that you've just got to make an off-the-cuff response.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
'Cause we're men, and we have balls.
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Because, you yut, breasts are in a different geographical location to balls. I mean, if I were to be equally callow in my response to you, I would say, why do you need a special garment to put your breasts in? I mean, men have nipples too, but we don't need a special garment to put them in.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex?
For the same reason that women are perceived to be shorter than men. Because they are. Men typically have more upper body strength than women. It's quite a lot as well. It's almost a factor of 2. So yeah, men are perceived to be the stronger sex because they are. You know, because reality.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
Oh, I know, kind of the same way it makes me feel to be the same sex as Einstein, or Hitler, Da Vinci, Bill Gates, Gandhi, George Washington, Jesus, and a gazillion other men who, for better or worse, achieved things that put them down in the history of mankind. And you might be wondering, why are there so many more famous men than women? And then you look at this list and you say these people were not just exceptional. These people were risk takers too. And hell, what do you know? Just like your average man is taller and stronger than your average woman. A fact that has feminists crying out to prosecute nature for being sexist. Men are also bigger risk takers. Yeah, men. 90% of the directors, 90% of the Darwin Awards.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
When opinionated men are seen as bosses.
Really? You're going to bring that up in the same video that you cite Donald Trump
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
as the archetypal dumbass bossy man?
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
I don't.
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
Well, you're right, honey. People do laugh at you. But it's not because you're funny.
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged? When men do it, they're congratulated.
Really, when men sleep with as many women as they want, they're congratulated. And so, of course, when Clinton got a blowjob in the Oval Office, everyone congratulated him, right? No.
Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
Ooh, can we all play dumbass feminist? Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, that I should buy you dinner? You know, why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my money? Or maybe, darling, it's because in normal relationships, exchanging things is a sign of trust. You know, the foundation of pretty much all non-feminist relationships. And someone who expects things but has no intention of reciprocation is kind of a manipulative, self-centered bitch.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a point during a meeting?
Well, if you're talking crap like you have been in this video, and I can already show that you're talking crap, cutting you off kind of saves the time of everyone else at the meeting. So it makes me feel like I've done the honourable and civically minded thing.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
Dear God, Princess, you really do think that the whole world revolves around you. You think that just because a man acts like a man, you think that they're constantly trying to prove their masculinity to you. Question: if a woman acts like a woman, do you constantly think that they're trying to prove their femininity to you?
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Ooh, swing and a miss. No, it's our legal justice system that automatically assumes that people are innocent until proven guilty. The reason for this should be obvious if you look at the recent rape hysteria on university campuses, where all of the most high-profile rape stories, the ones that were promoted by feminists and sensationalized in the media, turned out to be completely fictitious.
She went to the administration and told them that she had been gang raped at a fraternity house by 7 men while 2 others watched. and the administration did nothing about it. Well, we were looking to address the problem of rape on college campuses. This is an issue that's being discussed everywhere, and we were looking to really investigate what does it really look like on the ground level when there's a rape at college.
Sabrina Rubin Erdely went off to find evidence of rape culture on campus, whether it existed or not. You know, feminist research.
Before I say anything else, I have to thank you, Sabrina, for writing this. I think you've done a tremendous act of public service, and I'm genuinely very, very grateful.
Thank you.
It is hard to read an article like this and avoid the conclusion that we live in a culture that hates women, just hates us. It's hard to read an article like this and conclude that the men in this culture, boys and men in this culture, are raised to see women as not just less than them, but in some cases as less than human.
A 5-month police investigation led to this conclusion.
There is no substantive basis to conclude what is described in that article happened that night.
I mean, part of the reason why I chose University of Virginia is because I felt that it was really representative of what was going on at campuses across the country. When I spoke to experts, they told me that the scary truth is that if you dig deep enough, really in any campus, this is probably what you will find. That what happens at University of Virginia is probably not the exception. This is the norm.
Now you tell me, why are people so skeptical about such rape hysteria?
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Well, there are three things. Firstly, those white men were elected in a country where over half of the people in the country are women. Secondly, these white men who were chosen by the men and women of the country, their ideas do not stand or fall on the whiteness of their skin or the content of their pants. Thirdly, governments make all sorts of rules about what you can and can't do with your body, like when can you cross the road and all sorts. But let's be honest, the ones that you're talking about are reproductive issues, where the issue is complicated by the fact that there is the potential for a new life there at some point. And yeah, I think there's a sort of general consensus that if you think that it's your body, your right, and no one else should be able to tell you what the hell that you could do, and so if you want an abortion just on a whim because it's your body 5 minutes before the baby is born, people will rightly think that you're just another batshit crazy feminist.
My stance on abortion pretty much boils down to bodily autonomy of the woman, and that pretty much trumps everything else from where I stand.
Is there a limit? Would you set any limits on it?
No, I don't set any limits on it, and honestly, I think you should be able to get abortions on demand when you need them at any point in the program or any point in the pregnancy, no matter how late in the game it is. And I think the government should provide them for you. I'm one of those crazy people who thinks that it's the medically necessary procedure, and whether it's medically necessary from a life-threatening perspective or whether it's medically necessary from she just straight up doesn't want to have a child, I think it's irrelevant, and I don't think we should place any limits on it.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
You seem to be suggesting from your earlier comment that it was a woman's right to have an abortion at any stage during the pregnancy, and that obviously would be up to and including the moment that she goes into labour. I just wanted to clarify that that's what you were saying.
It would.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I blog for Skepchick. So I think that any attempt to dictate what a woman does with her body, or I guess I want to make the point that not all people who are pregnant are women. Like, there are trans men or non-binary people who have uteruses and get pregnant, but is abortion on demand without apology. Because I don't think a fetus or even I don't think an infant has personhood. But yeah, I don't think fetuses have protection. I don't think fetuses really have protection under the law. Or at least I don't think they should.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
Nah, because for me, being manly kind of comes naturally with being, well, a man. You want me to draw you a picture?
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
I'm not.
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
Because you're some ditzy airhead actor, hired specifically because your skin was black enough so you could read some lines that you were given, written by some latte-drinking liberal arts degree poser desperately immolating himself to atone for the original sin of being born with a white skin and a penis.
Sorry, I'm white! Sorry, I'm male! Sorry, I'm white! I'm sorry, I'm male! Why?
And the job was deemed so menial that you didn't even get accredited on a YouTube video. Yeah, a way to represent those minorities, regressive progressives. Yep, that's what you do. While I, with some 20 years of research experience, work in nuclear reactors to discover things that no other living man has discovered. That's why I get paid more than you.
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair?
Oh, this is that pay gap thing, isn't it? Well, that's great, because white people only get 75 cents on the dollar for an Asian guy. Yeah, Asians are the best paid demographic in America. I mean, really, am I worth 25% less just because my skin is white?
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
Yeah, Asian girl, shut the fuck up and check your privilege, shitlord. And don't you dare stop protesting for all those oppressed white guys until I get paid the same as the Asian guys. Oh, no, wait, why is it the guys are 10 times more likely to die at work than a woman? I mean, is a guy's life really worth 1/10 that of a woman's? Oh yeah, that's right. Guys and girls tend to have different career choices that end up with them getting different pay for different work, or different chances of dying for different work. In other words, when you account for all the factors and compare like with like, women get paid almost exactly the same for the exact same work. And the only reason they keep bitching about numbers like 80% is because they don't understand basic critical thinking or numbers. And the reason for that should be bloody obvious. They took gender studies degrees. Hell, if any of you morons thought about it for just a second, that if you really could hire women to do exactly the same work for 75% of the pay, then you could simply start a feminist company, hire all women, pay them 10% more, and still completely undermine the competition and financially annihilate them. Now, I wonder why that's not happened. Yeah, because you took gender studies degrees. Just kind of reminds me of that old joke, you know, how many feminists does it take to change a light bulb? To which the answer is, don't be silly, feminists can't change anything. So, every now and again you come across a video that is so screen-punchingly bad that you've just got to make an off-the-cuff response.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
'Cause we're men, and we have balls.
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Because, you yut, breasts are in a different geographical location to balls. I mean, if I were to be equally callow in my response to you, I would say, why do you need a special garment to put your breast in? I mean, Einstein, or Hitler, Da Vinci, Bill Gates, Gandhi, George Washington, Jesus, and a gazillion other men who, for better or worse, achieved things that put them down in the history of mankind. And you might, men have nipples too, but we don't need a special garment to put them in.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex?
For the same reason that women are perceived to be shorter than men. Because they are. Men typically have more upper body strength than women. It's quite a lot as well. It's almost a factor of 2. So yeah, men are perceived to be the stronger sex because they are. You know, because reality.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
Oh, I know, kind of the same way it makes me feel to be the same sex ass.